This is Ria, your social science doubt solver, and today I'm going to clear a concept called movement in the countryside from Grade 10 CBSE Board, Chapter 2, Nationalism in India. So, this topic I have divided into two parts. The first part talks about the peasant movement that happened in the North India, while the second part talks about the tribal movement happened in South India. If I get time, I will surely move with the second part as well. Now, let us understand the features of the peasant movement. The peasant movement happened in the location of Awadh, which is presently located in Uttar Pradesh, comprising the major cities of Allahabad and Lucknow. And who was the leader? The leader was Baba Ramchandra. Who was Baba Ramchandra? He was a sannyasi or a monk as well as an indentured labor. Now, what is an indentured labor? Indentured labor means the bonded labor. During those time, British used to take the Indians into different countries as laborers. Baba Ramchandra was one of them who went to Fiji as a labor, working under the British rule. Now, why this movement was basically launched? Now, the peasants were actually facing atrocities from long period of time. Okay, now who were doing all these things? The famous talukdars and the landlords. Talukdars are those who used to collect tax from peasants, and landlords are called the landowners, or famously known as the zamindars. Now, these talukdars and landlords, they used to demanded a very high rent. Now, since those peasants were basically poor, they do not have land on their own. They used to work on others' land. Okay, and for that working, they have to pay a certain amount of money or rent. Okay, and not only that, these talukdars and landlords, they had also started the beggar system. Now, what is beggar system? Beggar system means where you have to contribute without any payment. Okay, this peasants had to work a lot without any payment made to them. And not only that, they have assured, these talukdars and landlords have assured that the peasants should not claim any right over their leased land. Now, this peasants, some of these peasants, they have bought a certain land from the landowners for a certain period of time, say for 5 to 6 years, where they were working. Okay, now this talukdars and landlords, they started evicting those peasants so that these peasants must not assure their right over their leased land. So this were the atrocities which were like faced by the peasants of Awadh. Now, what this peasant movement had actually demanded? The second feature talks about the demands. Okay, now they had demanded the reduction of revenue. Now, what is land revenue? Land revenue means, for example, a person is doing farming on that land, or a person had set up a shop on that land. So whatever money is coming by selling those crops, or whatever money is coming by selling products from that shop, some of the percentage of that money should be provided to the talukdars and landowners as tax. Okay, that is called the land revenue. They demanded that this revenue should be reduced. Also, abolition of beggar system should be there, and social boycott of the oppressive landlords, means there should be no landlord system, and there should be full non-cooperation with these landlords. Okay, now who were the participants? As the name suggests, this is a peasant movement. Apart from that, there were the Nai and Dhobis. Okay, Nai means the barbers who cut hairs, and Dhobi means the washermen. Both of these groups had also joined the peasant movement, and their strikes, they had hold certain strikes which were basically organized by the local self governments of Awadh, which is called as panchayat. Okay, now apart from this participants, we have our famous, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, who had actually took this entire movement into a one step ahead, and he had actually helped Baba Ramchandra by collecting or by calling more and more farmers and forming Aud Kisan Sabha. Aud means Awadh, Kisan means farmers, Sabha means meeting. Okay, it was like all our the farmers meeting that happened with Baba Ramchandra as well as Jawaharlal Nehru, and within a month almost 300 branches of farmers had happened. Now, as you can notice, children, Baba Ramchandra, along with Jawaharlal Nehru, had actually called the entire peasants of Awadh, who had indirectly contributed to the national movement of our country. You cannot call a movement national until and unless the people are participating from each corners of the country. So let us move with the next feature, that not only the peasant movement had demanded or had boycotted oppressive landlords, this peasant movement had went into the violent side. They had started reaching out to the houses of talukdars and merchants where they had attacked them, and also the bazaars were looted, and the grain boards means where the grains used to get stored, all of them were taken over. So you can see that this movement had actually taken the violent path. Okay, and not only that, Baba Ramchandra had announced that Gandhiji said that no taxes should be paid, and there should be redistribution of lands among the peasants. Now, in the name of Gandhiji, the entire movement had taken place. Okay, and people were actually appreciating the initiatives of Gandhiji at the national level, as well as Baba Ramchandra, who were actually helping the peasants at the local level. But throughout everything, one particular group was unhappy, and the group was Congress. Now, why Congress was really unhappy with the entire movement? Because the Congress did not want to disappoint the rich zamindars, because the rich zamindars formed a core part of the Congress. Okay, so Congress did not support that no rent thing, particularly that no rent thing. Congress did not support children of the peasants, and that's why to certain extent the relationship between the Congress and the peasants had faced a little bit problem. So this was all about the peasant movement. I will definitely go to the tribal movement in my next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.